It's time to hit the road again, and this time we're gonna drive the route through Alvdal, so going on Riksvei 3, as we say in Swedish, instead of E6. I think we can make it to Alvdal. We have a 3% estimated arrival. We'll see what it looks like before we pass Berkåk over here. May just stop and fill up there a little bit before heading down to Alvdal. I haven't been there for a while, and a colleague told me that they're building V3 superchargers there. It just says 150 kilowatt max in Alvdal, but we'll see when we get there. 28 stalls. I can't remember it being that many, so potentially we'll see some V3 superchargers there. It's 12. I want to get home, have some dinner close to Oslo, and a good night's sleep after a few days here in Trondheim. So let's get going. Adjusted my trip a bit. I'm gonna stop in Berkåk and probably just plug in and top up a little bit. I don't have to, but I do want some coffee, and I'm gonna refill my water bottle and make sure I have, maybe a bun or so as I start the rest of the journey towards Oslo. So just 25 minutes away, just gonna do a quick top up, and then we're gonna keep on driving. I've been driving together with 2 other Model 3s as well, so we've had 3 3s driving together. And here we are. It's a pretty big installation, but it's just the version 2. And let's find a stall that's not shared with anyone. There we go. I have coffee, cinnamon bun, Powerade, filled my water bottle. So we're charged up to 60% now, and we'll see how that affects our route. So charging in Alvdal, not necessary. But what's our next stop? We got V2 in Elverum, another V2 in Elverum. Wonder if we can stretch it all the way to Klöfta. Let's do that, remove charging stops. Actually, end the trip, remove Alvdal entirely. And let's see what it says. -19. All right. Let's just we'll do a quick top up instead in Elverum. And we're charged up to 67%. Car predicts an 8% arrival. 273 kilometers, almost 4 hours of driving. That sounds great. Let's unplug and get going. Just arrived in Elverum and plugged in, so we're charging. It's an older V2 installation here with lots of cars charging, but luckily I managed to find a booth that was not shared. Looking at the last stretch, 276 kilometers, 129 watt hours per kilometer. Still very good consumption on this trip. We're closing up on the end. We're gonna hit 1,000 kilometers for this trip with a total of 135, but we'll look closer at that once I wrap up. It's time to wrap up the entire trip. Just gonna charge up here for a bit, have some buffer, and then we're done with this trip. I'm back on the road again, charged up to 65%, 35 kilowatt hours. I think the cost was around 130 NOK or something like that. So we're heading out on the last stretch now. It's just an hour and a half. That's gonna be where I end my trip. So just gonna try and get these last kilometers under my feet or wheels, and then I'll see you at my final destination for a summary of the trip, have a look at some statistics, and then we're gonna wrap up. There we go, we've made it to our final destination. The total trip was just under 7 hours. So it's been 2 long days of driving, 2 days of sleeping in the car, 1 day of partying, and now I'm finally, well, not really home, but almost. So before we wrap things up, let's take a quick look at the stats for the trip. For the last stretch from Elverum, just 136 kilometers, 167 watt hours per kilometers. The entire trip, 1,044 kilometers and 139 watt hours per kilometer consumption, that's good. I mean, there's a portion where you drive 110, 120, but most of it, the majority at least, is 80 roads or less. So the average speed is kind of low. We used 145 kilowatt hours. I didn't really track the energy consumption for camping or stuff like that, but since I arrived in Trondheim, I've had either sentry mode running or camp mode running. And if I remember correctly, it's about just below 1% per hour, at least for this trip, where it was about 20 degrees-ish and 15 at night. So, I don't know, I'm very happy. It's been quite some time since I slept in the car, and even though this wasn't outdoor, it wasn't an adventure, at least there was an EV and I got to sleep in the car. So thanks for joining me for the trip.